To all Detective Conan lovers, welcome back to the world of mystery, deduction, and clever twists. Whether you've been following Conan Edogawa since the very first episode or you're just diving into the maze of the Black Organization and beyond, you know that every case holds secrets waiting to be unraveled. Detective Conan episode 1062, titled The Spiral of Rain and Malice. On a dark, stormy evening, Tokyo is drenched in unrelenting rain. The streets are mostly empty except for the distant hum of cars and the steady patter of water hitting the pavement. Suddenly, a scream breaks the silence. A woman's body is found lying motionless in a narrow alley. She's been fatally injured, and the circumstances surrounding her death are immediately suspicious. Detective Conan Edogawa happens to be in the area with Detective Takagi and Inspector Megure. As they begin investigating the crime scene, it becomes apparent that this is no ordinary accident. The woman, later identified as Misaki Tendo, appears to have died from blunt force trauma to the back of her head, likely from falling and striking the curb. However, her belongings are untouched. Nothing appears to be stolen, which rules out robbery. The rain complicates things, washing away potential evidence like footprints or fingerprints. Conan quickly notices a few key details. The victim's umbrella is several meters away, as if thrown or dropped in haste. Her smartphone, however, is still in her coat pocket. And when checked, it reveals a partially recorded voice memo. In the audio, there's a confrontation. Raised voices, a woman crying, and a man speaking angrily, ending with a cryptic line that suggests emotional tension rather than violence. Three key figures emerge in the investigation. First is Sayaka Umino, Misaki's former co-worker who had recently severed ties with her over an undisclosed falling out. Second is Hiroshi Narumi, Misaki's ex-boyfriend, who had reportedly become distant and secretive after their breakup. Third is Misaki's neighbor, Mrs. Kanzaki, who had lodged repeated noise complaints and appeared hostile during questioning. While the police focus on motives like jealousy or unresolved grudges, Conan delves deeper. He visits Misaki's apartment, checks her call history, and interviews witnesses. Slowly, a narrative begins to form. Misaki, deeply empathetic and kind, had attempted to reconnect Sayaka and Hiroshi, who themselves had a complicated romantic history. Misaki arranged a meeting between the two, hoping to bring closure or possibly reconciliation. However, this well-intentioned act only reopened old wounds. Sayaka, still harboring bitterness and insecurity over her past with Hiroshi, arrived at the meeting emotionally unprepared. Hiroshi, meanwhile, was uncomfortable and evasive. Misaki tried to mediate, but the conversation spiraled into an argument under the heavy rainfall. Emotions ran high. Sayaka accused Misaki of manipulation. Hiroshi accused her of meddling. In a moment of frustration, Sayaka shoved Misaki aside. The ground was slippery from the rain, and Misaki lost her balance, falling backward and striking her head on the pavement. Sayaka and Hiroshi both panicked. They checked on her, but she appeared unconscious, not bleeding profusely, not visibly broken. Believing she would wake up soon and wanting to avoid further confrontation or scandal, they left her there. Neither of them called an ambulance. They convinced themselves she would be okay, though deep down, both feared the worst. Conan, using his deductive skills, enhances the audio on Misaki's phone. In the background, he picks up specific environmental clues. The time on a church bell, the sound of a particular truck engine, even the dripping of a broken street lamp, all aligning with footage he finds from a nearby shop's security camera. This footage places Sayaka and Hiroshi at the scene during the time of the incident. In a tense final reveal, Conan uses his voice-modulating bow tie to impersonate Kogoro Mori and lays out the truth before everyone. He doesn't accuse Sayaka or Hiroshi of murder. Rather, he explains how their carelessness and emotional recklessness led to Misaki's accidental death. By not seeking help, they crossed the line from unfortunate circumstance to fatal negligence. The episode concludes with both Sayaka and Hiroshi overwhelmed by guilt. Though they didn't intend to kill, their actions, or lack thereof, cost Misaki her life. The rain, which never stopped throughout the episode, becomes a metaphor for emotional weight. Cleansing, yes, but also unrelenting. Conan reflects in the closing narration. The rain can wash away footprints and blood, but guilt? That stays. Malice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silence, fear, and the choice to walk away. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. Conan is a brilliant character with exceptional analytical skills, using his intelligence to solve the most complex cases despite his appearance as a young child. Haibara Ai is a mysterious and intelligent girl, formerly a scientist in the Black Organization, who escaped and now assists Conan in confronting the organization after her body was also shrunk. Tsuburaya Mitsuhiko is a smart and curious boy, a member of the Detective Boys, known for his love of knowledge and his interest in solving mysteries with his friends. Yoshida Ayumi is a kind and friendly girl, a member of the Detective Boys and one of Conan's closest friends, showing a special interest in him. Koji Magenta is a strong-built and carefree boy, a member of the Detective Boys who loves food, and is known for his sense of humor despite being a bit reckless at times. Juzo Megure is a strict and dedicated police inspector who oversees criminal investigations and often works with Conan, relying on his extensive experience to solve crimes. Wataru Takagi is a loyal and kind-hearted police officer, working alongside Inspector Megure in criminal investigations, and he has feelings for Haibara Ai,